Grabs a bra. Okay. We might be up. There we go. Streaming on Twitch. We're sending information to YouTube and Facebook, but it says sending data to streaming on YouTube. See if Facebook pops in. There we go. Facebook. Jury's still out on Rumble, but nobody really cares. Nobody hangs out there. It's a sad little space. It's a crazy little environment. All right, let's try to jump in here. I have no idea. Oh, my overhead light is on. Sorry, I've been doing some work in my little Humpty studio. Hi, Craig. Late night stream. Hope I'm waking you, or if you're in another time zone, just enjoying this. Earlier, I had difficulties with my streamage. And so I decided to hop on and test my system and run it. Because tomorrow morning I got guests on the show. Rob Glenn's going to be on with me. I think Natalie Z is going to be on with me as well. And it was really frustrating this afternoon when, stuff wasn't working. Especially because I think I had a lot to say. Which you can... and people... I think it was... I'm not quite sure who said it. Things go by so fast in the chat room. And by the way, hi chat room. Let's see if you guys work. Look at that. There it is. Now it reloads on the beginning of it, so apologies for that. But I want to guarantee that it shows what's up with you guys and it doesn't get stuck, which it was doing as well. Seems all right. Hello. Hey. So, a little late night stream. Just checking on some stuff. I hope I'm not waking you. I know that's one of the reasons why I tell people not to turn on the notifications, because I'm on at my regular time, and if I pop on like this, you should only just kind of, you should, for lack, as a bishop said to the priest, you should only come across me. So I'm testing my system by doing the Riyadh speech. Trump spoke in Riyadh, and it's pretty friggin' ridiculous. And also there's if I have time and I have any inclination whatsoever, I will probably there's like a 7-minute Musk thing, but I wanted to check and make sure that my stuff is working before the morning. Yes, in a big thunderstorm at the moment. Very nice. It is a pop on. I'm just popping on. That's right. In my purple shirt with my my dangly bangs, and I've got styrofoam in my hair because I've been assembling a table, and it came in a package. And unfortunately, not all the screw holes in it are driven. You have to, because I guess they allow you to mess around with it a little bit. So you can choose which side of one piece you want. So you drive the holes yourself. And my driving screwdriver is at my girlfriend's kid's house. And so I've got to pick that up tomorrow. So I've got a disassembled table sitting in my living room, my workroom over here, kind of surrounded by it. But I managed to gather all the styrofoam in one area. But man, that stuff is sticky. This is a test. It is not only a test. It will also have useful insights and information. I have no doubt, and perhaps even I don't doubt actual news. So that said, we have a sip of tea. By the way, I drink out of these masonry jars all the time, the mason jars, and it's funny when somebody will see me drinking water out of it and they're like, is that shine? That makes sense. It's kind of funny. But people don't make homemade bourbon, do they? And put it in shine glasses. Do they do that? Because that's not what I'm doing, obviously. But just letting you know. All right. Wait, wide awake, just slagging ass. Dealing with a jackpot Nevada. Slip in tonight. Oh my God, Anton. I have been to Jackpot, Nevada a couple of times, as you well know, with Nerd Halen. We played there more than we played. The only place we played an equal number of shows at Virgin Casino here in Vegas. But that's the most out of LA we played in a casino is Jackpot, Nevada, and it's lovely. The entertainment guy there is a big fan, and it's a great place. Yamava's very fun, although, again, they use in-ears, which is fine, except, well, they're fine if yours actually work. Oh, it's 6:45 a.m. Good morning. Top of the morning to you, Joyce. How are you? You doing all right? I hope you have a wonderful breakfast, It's nice that you could join me. I don't know if you watch normally, when I'm doing the show, just like in the afternoon. Maybe you watch it later, or you watch a replay or something like that, or maybe before you go to bed. I don't know. Oh, Belfast, Bob, how are you? Yeah, 6:44 there in Ireland. You guys are in the same time zone, aren't you? It's good. My accents are going to be all over the fucking place. I just want you to know that. Just understand.
It's not Irish. It's not English.
How are you? Well, what if we can't? It's for the horses, you know.
It's just pikey.
It's just pikey. I fucking hate pikey. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of in-ears. I understand that as a singer, they're a good idea. I have reasonable ones, but one of these days I'll get the big form-fitting kind. The problem is you have to have an audience mic. That's the one thing that's always missing from in-ear mixes. An audience mic. And it's not that hard. All you need is a shotgun pointed at the crowd, like a dual stereo shotgun. Feed that into the earpiece, and then you can get a hang. Because a lot of times when an artist with in-ears yells at you, I can't hear you, they literally can't. It's beer for breakfast. Oh, shame on you. What up? Hey, Notorious Hank. Hit the like, I guess. I should do all the normal stuff, even though this is a late night hangout. Okay, so Trump was in Riyadh, and he gave a speech, and it was, I've seen little pieces of it. I have not watched it. I'm not going to double watch something, but from what I have seen, it was, it just had like a subtle kind of a vibe to it in a couple of places that caught people off guard. Okay, you clearly heard that. That's good. That's a good start. We'll see what we shall see. Let me make sure this thing is open. See if this works.
Here I am like an idiot.
That worked. Okay, I just didn't hear it. So that means the Elgato thing wasn't on. There you go. So I've got to be able to hear that. Yeah. Let me try it again.
Here I am like an idiot.
There you go. Okay, it worked. Okay. Now I can hear the audio. Yeah. For that, let's see if we can hear some of this nonsense. Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. What a great place.
What a great place. What a great place. Oh, that video was echoing? You got the echo blast of that Trump thing? Was it after I... Yeah. What would that be? Oh, because that's... I see. Because that's actually a playthrough and going through that thing? Hold on. 5 actions. It should just be play the video and then there you go. Source visibility comes on. Source visibility. Okay, so then there shouldn't be... I remember. Okay, so... I'm fixing stuff tonight. It's a party. Let's do this. So the... where is it? It's going to be in this guy right here. It's going to be that one. Nope, this one. Okay, so properties on that guy, and then I don't want to control the loop, restart, playback, and show nothing when playback ends. File, loop. No, I don't want it to loop. It's all right. So, all right, I guess I have to fix it while I play it and stuff because it's so limited. I'll worry about it later because I probably won't need it again. Sorry about the echo, and there's no echo on this. I mean, there was a slight room echo on his mic in this thing.
Place, but more importantly, what great people.
Yes, great people, and of course we had fried Khashoggi chips, and they were so delicate with a nice Chianti.
I want to thank His Royal Highness the Crown Prince for...
Excuse me, did you hear that? Sorry, I'm allergic to that kind of an echo. It tickles my brain.
That incredible introduction. He's an incredible man.
He's an incredible man. His biceps, his buttocks. He's an incredible man. I don't know how else to say it. He's just, I just want to say he's wonderful. All right. He's,
A long time now. There's nobody like him.
gets really weird. There's nobody like him.
Very much. Appreciate it very much, my friend.
Even he's getting uncomfortable. Hey, man, keep it down. You know, this is not the best. I'm just saying, not the best place in the world currently to be, you know, just don't bring it up.
It's
Elon sitting behind him. This is triggering my Asperger's.
tremendous honor to return to this beautiful kingdom and be welcomed back with such extraordinary generosity and warmth.
Especially the generosity part, which isn't really generosity, it's just business.
I've never forgotten the exceptional hospitality showed to us by King Solomon, who's just, we talk about it.
He's a king? Is he a king? Hold on, what's happening? Oh, maybe he's doing the playthrough as well.
Man, that is a great
It
man.
is.
That is a great man, a great family. Now, that visit took place exactly 8 years ago. The graciousness of the royal family and the Saudi people is really unsurpassed, no matter where you go. Let me also thank the countless ministers, government officials, business leaders, and distinguished guests for that warm welcome. Very warm, and I know so many of you. I'd like to call out all of your names, but we have a lot of problems with the...
We have a lot of problems because I can't say those names without having an aneurysm. Okay, I think I fixed the slap back, although I think maybe at the end I was the only one hearing it, but we hope.
For a long time. We don't want that, so don't be upset.
Don't be upset if I don't go Muhammad Gal Graba Far Sahaba Ali Gumhaba. I think I said it right. That's one guy.
This historic state visit, we celebrate more than...
You know how happy he is to say the prince and the king, so he doesn't have to actually say Mohammed bin Salman, or right, that he doesn't have to like hit that al-Bakhar thing he said I think he was in Qatar, that speech where he was like speaking to troops, he's like
years of close partnership between the United States and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The kingdom. Yeah, just take the D out. Works for me. Kingdom.
Ever since President
Oh yeah, kingdom style. Sorry. This is gonna be
Franklin
silly.
Roosevelt met with King Solomon's father, King
Solomon's father. Uh-oh.
Abdul Aziz, aboard the USS Quincy in 1945.
Abroad? He was abroad, the U.S. Quincy? So he was completely strapped to the entire top. He was abroad, the U.S. Quincy. Sam, don't you understand?
The U.S.-Saudi relationship has been a bedrock of security and prosperity.
Well, I mean, there was that little hitch after somewhere between 2000 and 2002.
Today we reaffirm this important bond and
Reaffirm. So does that unaffirm it? I think it does. If you reaffirm it, that's a double positive.
take the next steps to make our relationship closer, stronger.
Uh-oh, they're ready to move to the next step. Him and MBS. Ready to move to the next step, everybody. All right, so sorry, this speech gets really weird.
More powerful than ever before.
More powerful than ever. Hold on, I probably need a sound effect. More powerful than ever before. Nope, wrong way. Sorry. More powerful than ever before. No, that doesn't work either. Sword fight? No, that is probably not gonna do it. Maybe this is maybe it's best if I just go more powerful than ever before.
Moon River. Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
More powerful than ever before.
Than ever before. Sorry, this is nuts. And they keep cutting to him like it's like he's singing "Lady" by Styx.
Than ever before. It is more powerful than ever before.
Lady, from the moment I saw you standing alone. Boing. Seriously, this is almost exactly the same camera work when I sang Lady to my ex-girlfriend Sam on Celebrity Duets. Like, these are the same cuts. And look who's jealous. Why you keep pointing it? He's like, meh. And over here, Musk is like, why? Why you gotta? Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. All right.
And by the way, it will remain that way. We don't go in and out like other people.
Clearly not.
By the way, it will remain that way. We don't go in and out like other people. It will remain that way. I've come.
Wait. Did he just say I'm coming? Hold on.
I've come this afternoon.
Oh, I've come this afternoon. Well, good for you. I'm glad it was a good day overall.
To talk about the bright future of the Middle East, but first let me begin by sharing the abundance of good news from a place called America. In less than 4 months, our new administration has achieved more than most other administrations accomplish in 4 years or even 8 years. We've actually done, for the most part, more. The day I took office, we inherited, thank you. Thank you. The day I took office, we inherited a colossal invasion on our southern border, an invasion like you'd never want to see here. Nobody should ever want to see it. But within weeks, we slashed illegal border crossings to an all-time low, down 99.999%. That's good. Even for this great gentleman standing right in front of me. That's a good number. We had...
Even for what?
We had hundreds of thousands of people. They came in...
This is it, I mean, it's not just me, is it? Like, it's fucking weird. It's like, he is... Look, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. Who knows how much Trump would ease up as a human being if he finally came out of the closet. Maybe he doesn't hate women. Maybe, like he's had his entire life, maybe he loves men and his asshole father shamed him into living this way. And living against your nature is a terrible thing. And it does terrible shit to people.
At the same time last year and last month, we had... in this
last month, same time last month, last year, I was just here. When was I here?
Border, 3 people that got in. That's quite a difference. And we have no choice but to get a lot of the people that came in because they were not the best people. They were in many cases very bad people. We're getting them out. We're getting them out very fast. We're bringing them back to where they came from. We have no choice. After years of military recruiting shortfalls, enlistments in the U.S. Armed Forces are now the highest in 30 years because there is such an incredible spirit in the United States of America. We have tremendous spirit again. Just about a year ago, It was a big story, front page on every paper all over the world, that nobody wanted to enlist in our military, meaning we...
Yeah, I remember that. You remember that a year ago when every newspaper in the world said nobody wants to join the U.S. Army? Oh, it's a terrible story. Yeah, like, and the picture they used was so unflattering.
way under enlisted. And just last week it came out that we had the strongest enlistment. They say 30 years, but probably it's maybe ever. They don't go back that far. It's the best, and that includes police officers.
They don't go back. They don't go back as far as ever. They don't go back to the beginning of time. Listen to that again real quick.
They don't go back that far. It's the best, and that
What shit?
out that we had the strongest enlistment. They say 30 years, but probably it's maybe ever. They don't go back that far. It's
Okay, hold on. Sorry, we got a spam a lot here. Hold on. God damn it, it's always hard here. Block user on Facebook. There we go. Goodbye. Get the fuck out of my chat. Stop selling miracle cures. Look, you've already got RFK Jr. in there. Go sell it to him.
the best, and that includes police officers, firemen, everything else. Is a great spirit in the United States right now. A brand new poll from Rasmussen just
he heard that his own, like, he heard his own lip smack, and he literally, watch this.
States right now. A brand new poll from Rasmussen just showed that the number of Americans who believe the nation is on the right track, they have a right track, wrong track, is now the highest in over 20 years. And it hasn't been anything like this because for many years it was the wrong track. And I can tell you for the last 4 years it was definitely the wrong track. But it's the highest it's been in many, many years. We renamed the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America. That was very popular, other than perhaps with Mexico.
Other than perhaps with
most
Mexico.
Importantly for the people in this room, the days of economic misery under the last administration are rapidly giving way to the greatest economy in the history of the world. We are rocking. The United States is the hottest country, with the exception of your country, I have to say, right? I'm not going to take that on. No, Mohammed, I'm not going to take that on. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing if I made that full statement? But I will not do it. You're hotter. At least.
You guys are hotter than I am. You're totally hot. You're hot. Hey, do what you're going to do, man.
As long as I'm up here, you're hotter.
All right, we're fine.
But groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no
Gibberish. Inflation's 2.8%.
inflation.
Even with oil going down, which the Saudi Arabia doesn't want to do, but they have no choice.
In a few short weeks, we've created 464,000 brand new jobs. Think of that. It's almost 500,000 jobs created just in a matter of weeks.
Yeah, and those will not be revised down, and the ones that were made have nothing to do with infrastructure, which was passed last year.
Just reached a historic trade agreement with the United Kingdom, and over the weekend we reached a breakthrough agreement with China. Both outstanding deals.
Yes, China's deal was a pause for 90 days where we pause our shit and they don't.
Agreed. We have to get it down. We have to get the little details down.
Yeah, I think so. The little details, like what tariffs will stay and how much they will be.
Scott, you're going to work on that very hard, but China's agreed to open up to the United States for trade and everything else.
And everything else. Be careful how you cut yourself. He's got dry mouth. He's short on Adderall, and they jacked him up with a bunch of Diet Cokes before the thing. So he's got, I think he's got dry mouth from that.
But they have to do it, so we'll see what happens. But
they have to do it, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't even feel like I need to read Art of the Deal. I feel like I'm getting all the key pieces of information, right? Like it's like Cliff Notes, right? Living in front of me.
We had a very, very good meeting with both of those countries. We are cutting 10 old regulations for every new regulation. We're getting rid of all of the red tape that is so many, frankly, countries as they get older, they develop a lot of red tape, and we.
Yeah, it's around their knees and stuff. It's basically because their joints start to give out, so you use the red tape to hold it together. That's the thing. Elderly countries, yeah, that's true. Young countries, there's seldom any red tape. There's seldom any law enforcement at all. There's just a lot of like death squads, people running around shooting up houses. So.
Rid of it. We're getting rid of it at record levels. And I'm pleased to report that the United States Congress is on the verge of passing the largest tax cut and regulation cut in American history. We think we're in good shape to get that.
Also, no, you're not. The whole thing is just extending your tax cut. And even then, they're talking about, like, to get it through, they're having to, like, lower the millionaire tax cut by a percentage point. So it'll be technically smaller than the last one. Never mind the regulation cuts bullshit, which is gibberish.
If we get that, that will be like a rocket ship for our country.
More like a rocket. More like a like a missile, like a unbalanced missile. It's like that rocket that was full of supplies in The Martian.
In the first quarter of the year, the investment in America was up an astounding 22%. More than $10 trillion of new investments have been announced or are coming just.
Yes, that's amazing. Announced or are coming. Is it, if it's announced, are you saying it's coming somehow? Yeah. Is Elmo the third wheel of the matchmaker? Yes, Elmo Leon is there.
The election on November 5th. So think of that in a very.
Boy, he's really trying to suck up to Trump. He's impersonating him now. You know how you mirror someone? Or is he trying to hypnotize Trump into passing out? Like, maybe I can make him yawn. That would be the biggest dick move. Oh my God. If somebody was sitting there just went, and Trump's like, we're trying to.
Short period of time, we have over $10 trillion, and it could be much higher than that. Not everybody comes to the White House to have a news conference that they're going to be opening up in America, but they're all coming in at numbers that we've never seen before.
Jesus Christ.
If you take a look at other presidencies, they wouldn't do.
Yeah, they wouldn't pick winners and losers, I guess, in the market.
$1 trillion sometime in years. We did this.
No, there hasn't been a president, I would argue, since maybe Clinton, Bush 1, where there weren't like $1 trillion investments happening in the United States on the regular.
Essentially 2 months, because you have to say we got into office and they gave me about a month to clean up and fix up the Oval Office. And after that, we started working. And I feel a little lost up here. And I can't take my eyes off the Crown Prince because he's a whole lot of man meat and a beautiful white sheet. And if somebody plays YMCA, I might blow him. The money is pouring in, the jobs are pouring in, the companies are pouring into our country like we've never seen before. There's never been anything like it.
Well, yeah, because most of the time the jobs were just kind of created in the United States, and you're just inviting in rich assholes, I guess, to start. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
And we let other people tariff us into losing a lot of money and a lot of jobs, and now we're tariffing them, and it's at a level that
Nobody's ever seen before?
Nobody's seen. It's a level that is making us a very much different country and a very different republic.
Look at these guys, like, whoo. This your guy? Ugh, I don't know what you're doing with this man, because he is clearly. We have a phrase in my country for a man like this. It is which means your brain is made of camel pudding.
Party. We won a tremendous victory in November. We won all 7 swing states, the popular vote by.
You don't say. I'm part of a royal family. We don't have to do this election bullshit. You were saying something? God, this is fucking weak.
Millions and millions of votes. The Electoral College, we won by 312 to 226. Remember, they said, well, we could get to 270. No, we got to 312. That's a big difference. And very importantly, we won counties throughout the United States, 2,660 to 451. That's why when you look at a map, they're all red. It's all.
Yeah, they're all empty.
The whole country is red. Red stands for Republican.
Or communist, I suppose. Used to be, Russians. Yeah.
From the moment on, and from the moment we started, we've seen wealth that just poured and is pouring back into America. Apple is investing.
Yeah, we're trying to get the poor to pour out of America. That's, yeah.
$500 billion. NVIDIA is investing, and I see my friend is here, Jensen. That's very good, wherever you may be.
I see my friend Jensen, who is here. Where are you? I guess you don't see him then?
Much, because he's putting in $500 billion. TSMC is investing. Where is Jensen, by the way? Where is?
I thought you saw him.
He's standing here. Where is he? I just saw that. Thank you very much, Jensen. I mean, Tim Cook isn't here, but you are. What a job you've done.
Yeah, because Jensen's there to sell a massive amount of chips, their digit system, to the Saudis. Durr.
He said he's got 99% of the chip market. I don't know. That's a big. That's not easy to beat. But what a job you've done. Thank you.
No, he doesn't. Nobody said he has 99% of the chip market, you fucking weirdo. He doesn't even have 99% of the AI chip market. He's got I would say 60%. It's still good, but simmer the fuck down.
We're proud to have you in our country. You know that. Thank you for the investment. TSMC is investing $200 billion, and with this trip, we're adding over $1 trillion more in terms of investment into our country and buying our.
No, you're not. He's re-announcing what the Saudis already said.
And nobody makes military equipment like us. We have the best military equipment, the best missiles, the best rockets, the best everything.
And they're great if you want to kill your neighbors. That's what we're really here to do. Yeah, that's what he's there selling weapons to the Saudis. Awesome. Also, no new wars. Just saying.
Submarines, by the way.
You can't have our submarines. Fuck you.
Weapon in the world. In addition to purchases of $142 billion of American-made military equipment by our great Saudi partners, the largest ever. This week there are multi-billion.
And those aren't going to be used on anybody. They're just there, it's just in case. We're going to deliver all those arms in glass cases. So just in case of emergency,
$1 commercial deals with Amazon, Oracle, AMD. They're all here. Uber, Qualcomm, Johnson & Johnson, and
Qualcomm. That's that skeet shooting and bird hunting communication device for hunters, right? It's shaped like a duck, and when it rings, it goes.
Many.
Qualcomm. Mm-hmm.
So I want to congratulate everybody. So many great business executives. Many of you, most of you, I know, And they were coming in, about a month ago. They weren't that happy when they saw me. And now they're saying, sir, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much. It's amazing what a rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher. Like I told people 5 weeks ago, it's a great time to buy. I got criticized for that. Now they don't criticize me anymore. People should have listened. But it's going to go a lot higher. You'll see, we've never had anything like this happen. It's an explosion of investment and jobs and great companies are coming in. Never seen anything like it. There's no better place to make a future or make a fortune. Do anything, frankly, than...
Okay, the word in the teleprompter was fortune. He read it as future, decided to go with it, and then just went, any word will do. That's the strategy when he fucks up a word in the teleprompter. To make a future, a fortune, and to make anything, really. Make a ham sandwich.
Never seen anything like it. There's no better place to make a future or make a fortune.
I think that's what it says in the teleprompter.
Do anything, frankly, than...
Do anything, frankly. Oh, yes. Like, I don't know, party with Jeffrey Epstein, that kind of thing for 2.5 decades.
What we have in the United States of America under a certain president, Donald J. Trump, I have the right attitude. I have the same attitude that the people in the front row, second row, third row have. As you get back, perhaps they start to wane a little bit in terms...
Jesus Christ. What are you talking about, asshole? You see, okay. Anybody who's ever given a speech or has done any kind of public speaking or whatever, this is a big fucking stage. And this is a long distance from the audience. Like just before the audience starts. And then there's like a walking space in between the stage and where the chairs start. And then the chairs are spaced far enough apart where it's a comfortable walk. Nobody is squeezing down an aisle in this thing as big as the room is. So it's just fucking ridiculous. I guarantee he just feels as alone as he ever has certainly in the last 8 years standing on this stage. And it's fucking awesome. They literally are like these little fucking cardboard things and the speakers that they have here and to like the housing for the teleprompter monitors and all that kind of stuff is like, if that wasn't there, you just hear fucking crickets from his knees standing there.
Their view. But
see what I mean? Like, look at these guys. There's Bessent and Rubio. They're all doing the same hand gesture. What the fuck is that?
they understand, and we're doing what a lot of smart people would do, and we're not necessarily being politically correct. You saw what we did yesterday with health care. We've cut our health care by 50 to 90%.
No, you have not. You have not cut health care by 50 to 90%. Holy shit.
You're going to see drugs and pharmaceuticals come down at numbers that nobody has ever seen.
And they're not going to see them.
And drugs, pharmaceuticals, we think will be dropping.
And there is a difference, I think.
And it will be a redistribution of costs with other nations, which really took advantage of a very nice group of people that ran our country. But not only is this a time of incredible excitement.
This is when he goes, you can always see his weird, like, kind of twitch when he goes back. Now I have to go back to the teleprompter. Oh, here comes reading.
The United States, it's also...
By the way, if I may, hi, everybody. Hi, chat room. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks, Super Chats, etc. If you want to see the rest of this clip, watch when other things would clip it here, something. Show things. Bookhal. I'm such a professional streamer now. All right, here we go.
An exhilarating period right here.
Look at the gap. Look at the gigantic. Look how small he is. Look at this stupid fucking stage. What do you think they had? Dancers out there? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Scoot in, you pricks. What is that for? There's like a giant tray of like snacks comes through. Like, canapé? No, thank you.
The Arabian Peninsula, beautiful place, by the way.
Peninsula. It's like penis, but and one of those cat treats, the churros. It's a slim line.
Beautiful place. Exactly. Thank you.
It's a beautiful place. Thank you for that round of applause for your own place, I guess. Never mind. Okay.
Exactly 8 years ago this month, I stood in this very room and looked forward.
And touched a giant orb with my new bestie. And we shared a moment that can only be called... All right. It's, yeah.
To a future in which the nations of this region would drive the forces of terrorism and extremism.
Extremism. It's a hard word to say if you can't speak and your mouth doesn't work and you're old and your brain is turning into how you say? Camel pudding.
Have them right out of existence and take your place among the proudest, most prosperous, most successful nations anywhere in the world as leaders of a modern and rising Middle East. So exciting.
So exciting, especially the part where there's a giant sword in your flag. That makes me feel a lot better. And then the sword dance and stuff. But you guys, you're just going to clear out the...
Exciting. Mohammed, you sleep at night? How do you sleep? Huh?
How do you sleep at night? Funneling all that money to terror. Yes, the song is saying gay, gay, gay. So this is a song that I used AI to make, where I was trying to explain, like, when Trump plays YMCA, what the rest of the world actually hears when he's playing that song. I don't know what he thinks it's about, but it's about...
I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Points and thongs and vests and thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do.
So when he plays YMCA, that's what everybody actually hears. What Trump hears, nobody fucking knows. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know, I love that feeling. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I want to do. Butt stuff. Right, so there you go. Hal just needs this to get this out of his system. I kind of do, Craig. It's true.
What a job. He tosses and turns like...
And you know this how?
Some of us. Tosses and turns all night. How do I make it even better all night? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. They're the ones that will never take you to the promised land, won't they?
What? What the? What? Take you to the promised land? Okay, first of all, I don't know if that's like gay or a threat. Maybe it's both? What the fuck? What? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. Hold on. It's the ones that don't toss and turn that won't take you to the promised land? Nobody knows what he's talking about. Look at Musk. He's like, I don't think this is being heard the way you're saying it.
What a job. He tosses and turns like some of us. Tosses and turns all night. How do I make it even better all night? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. They're the ones that will never take you to the promised land, won't they? But
yeah, you know, like it says in the Old Testament, where the Jews were going. Fuck. But tell them about the promised land.
I've done some job.
Sorry. This is honestly. I'll do you some job. I'll take you to the promised land.
True.
This is so odd. Oh, it's good. All right.
But critics doubted that it was possible what you've done, but over the past 8 years, Saudi Arabia has proved the critics totally wrong. The transformation
The slurping. Jesus.
that has occurred even by these incredible business leaders. I mean, you had the biggest leaders in business anywhere in the world standing right before us. But the transformation that has occurred under the leadership of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed has been true.
Oh, man. Just fucking working those words. Prince, kings.
Extraordinary. Such a thing has, I don't think, ever happened before. I've never seen anything at that scale happen before.
Never seen anything that big till the three of us got together.
And I guess, maybe you could say the United States is doing pretty well too, but I don't think too many people have seen that happen before. Majestic skyscrapers.
Good God.
The towers that
Oh, somebody didn't show. It's not good. And then another one didn't show. Probably their dates, I guess.
see, the difference between now and 8 years ago. And 8 years ago was very impressive, but the towers that I see rising, some of the exhibits that I was shown by Mohammed,
Muhammad.
what I've seen there is just an amazing, it's amazing.
Display of sinew and sweat. I'm sorry, I was talking about the buildings, not the guys putting it together.
Process, amazing genius of so many people, architecture, but I have a feeling I know where many of those ideas came from. Happens to be sitting right in this room right before me, but the towers and all of the different, I've seen a lot of different towers. I didn't think there's any version of a tower that I haven't seen in one form or another.
Jesus Christ. How long was he at this glory hole, and does it ever close?
That's 4 exhibits. I have never seen anything like any of them. So it's going to be very exciting.
Oh, I see. You saw the display of buildings that have yet to be built. Fabulous.
And they sit among the ancient wonders of a growing and exciting city. It's really amazing. Riyadh is becoming not just a seat of government, but a major business, cultural, and high-tech capital of the entire world. The
Way to shit on America, buddy.
World Cup is here. Johnny, just stand up, Johnny. Johnny, thank you, Johnny.
Okay, soccer is getting a fucking standing ovation.
Great job, Johnny, great job. But the World Cup and the World Expo will soon be coming here, just like the World Cup is coming to the United States. It's going to be really exciting next year. The engines of Formula One.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. The parties are going to be awesome. Not as great as the ones here, because anybody who's not having a good time, we can just throw them off a fucking roof.
Racing now roar through the streets of Jeddah.
Jeddah. Which is different than the Sith, I understand.
The engines of Formula One racing now roar through the streets of Jeddah.
Jeddah. He got very Alec Baldwin Trump right there.
A historic milestone. Other industries recently surpassed oil. Think of it. All of your other industries now have surpassed oil.
Yes, because they're out of oil, dipshit. They're running out. Why the fuck do you think they would be doing this? If they had as much oil as you think they did, they wouldn't be doing any of this shit. They wouldn't have to. That's why they're like knocking off some of their own relatives and limiting how much money they get from the king and all that kind of shit.
Of a lot of people will understand what that means. It's so big to make up a majority of the Saudi economy for the very first time ever. So think of that. Other industries are now bigger even than oil, which is always going to be a big monster. It's a
No, it's not.
big one, but that's a great tribute to you and economic development properly used. In other cities throughout the
It is. You're right. It is a tribute to economic development properly used. You know what I mean? Hey, everybody, let's give it up for economic development properly used. You know what? I don't know why we're so stuck on reading the words in the teleprompter in the order that the words are in the teleprompter, right? I mean, who's the teleprompter Nazi, all right? He's freeballing. This is jazz, baby.
places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Doha, Muscat, the transformations
Muscat.
have been unbelievably remarkable.
Unbelievably remarkable. Well, I guess you could remark on how unbelievable it is if you don't believe it.
For our
Yes, I'm really live right now. My system didn't work earlier and it was pissing me off, so I tinkered with it a little bit, and I'm just making sure it works before I have guests on tomorrow. Also, I have to get up ass early in the morning to take the kitties to get broken. So the 4 cats we're fostering right now are going to get broken tomorrow. Some people call that fixed. But you don't fix something that already works. You break it. So we're taking the kittens to be broken, and we have to pick them up in the afternoon after my show later on. But they'll be they'll be groggy, poor little things. So I got to get up at 7 in the morning, drive down there with the kitties, drop them off, and come back and do my show. And then I've got to run a bunch of errands in the afternoon, come back and do my afternoon show, and then pick up the kitties afterwards. Once they've been broken, they break them. They break their little innards so they can't make other cats.
A new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos, where it exports technology, not terrorism.
Are you saying that they've been largely exporting chaos and terrorism, and you're just saying that to these people that are sitting right in front of you? Awesome.
Where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are...
Well, with a few exceptions. Let's be honest. I could think of one particular religion that they would make an exception to.
cities together, not bombing each other out of existence. We don't want that.
No, you just, that's why you're down there selling them the largest military shipment in the history of America to Saudi Arabia. We don't want that. We don't want you to use these things. We just want you to buy them. Just put them on a shelf in case you need them. Oh, hi, Carl. Sorry if I'm keeping you up, but sorry, I'm glad if you're already up that I'm helping you with insomnia. Sure. Yes, we don't want to blow things up, but thank you for the rockets. And also, if you don't mind parking one of your submarines nearby in case the Houthis just attack our gas fields again. And also, thank you for the soldiers you took out of Syria that were protecting the Kurds from the Turks and moving them to Syria so that they could be human shields for our gas facilities back when you were president the first time. Thanks very much. All right.
And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transfer.
I'm sorry you have a headache, alley-oop. Water. It's always hydration. Hydrate, kiddo. Hydrate. A little bit of salt. Get some hydrate. Come on. Get your hydrate on.
Has not come from Western intervention. No,
some words just hurt, okay? Intervention, that's got a lot of syllables in it. It's gonna hit you right in the middle of your spine. Watch that.
Transformation has not come from Western interventionalists or...
Interventionalists. They threw the interventionalist. Is that a word? Ow! Ah! It stings. Interventionalism.
Flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No.
Flying people in beautiful planes. Ooh, sorry. If they're flying people, why are they in beautiful planes? Why do they have to be in a plane at all? I would think those are called angels.
The gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a...
Hold on. To what? Like, this fucking hurts. This is painful.
Of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many...
Cabal. Gobble, hobble. What? To develop Cabal. Hafar. With the help of Anne Melmahay and Dr. Hafar.
Other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign...
No. No, they didn't live here all their lives. As a matter of fact, almost everyone in this crowd went to England or the United States and went to university and lived there for a long period of time. A big portion of them have British accents, for the record. They, don't get me wrong, they speak fluent Arabic, but and probably Farsi and probably, I don't know, but some of them might even speak Hebrew, God knows. But they definitely all have British accents.
Countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies. And
yeah, you know, where women can't drive and gays get thrown off of rooftops. Who are we to judge?
Your own way. It's really incredible what you've done.
Especially with all this marble and gold. It doesn't look like a gaudy... It doesn't look like what my nutsack looks like in my own dreams.
In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
And occasionally throwing a reporter in a wood chipper.
And it's something only you could do.
Uh-oh, he's losing some of the hardliners. They're walking out.
You achieved a modern miracle, the Arabian way. That's a good way.
Okay. It didn't seem like he did it the Arabian way. It seems like he did it the Wall Street way, actually.
Today, the Gulf nations have shown this entire region a path towards safe and orderly societies with improving quality of life.
Yes, all you need is a bunch of slaves from India that you keep their passports until they finish building shit, and then some of them don't go home, and you need a bunch of African women to sexually service those people, and then you just need to force them to make islands that are shaped like palm leaves that are sinking into the ocean for no fucking reason, and sell the property there as a way of giving away a form of citizenship just so they can do business there. And I mean, it's one of the ways to do it. It's the Arabian way, I guess.
Pushing economic growth, expanding personal freedoms, and increasing responsibilities on the world stage. After so many
the world stage.
Decades of conflict, finally it is within our grasp to reach the future that generations before us could only dream about, a land of peace, safety, harmony, opportunity, innovation, and achievement right here in the Middle East. So beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing that's happening. I guess, you know, the people that are here can't even really appreciate it because you see it happening. And
yeah, you guys don't know how great this is, because if I fly like 1 hour in any direction around here, it's a fucking nightmare. Know what I mean? Jesus.
It's when you come to a place
The Gulf nations, yeah.
you haven't seen in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years that it's even more incredible.
Huh?
When I left office just over 4 years ago, that future seemed almost impossible, what you've done.
What are you talking about? Dubai was like, this is Riyadh, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi, the UAE, Qatar. There's billions pouring into these places for fucking 2 decades. This is oil wealth. It's been like this for a long time. It's coming to an end. The only reason this asshole is here and they're having the Saudi-U.S. investment forum at all is because oil is over. We hit peak oil 20 fucking years ago, and they hit it before that and lied to everybody. And so they're trying to transfer their wealth. The only thing they have is they can turn themselves into a giant Cayman Islands for business, which is what they're trying to do. So everybody just houses their money there, and they can blitz Cyprus and blow them out of the fucking water. And you can just do it in Saudi Arabia because it's bigger and they have a security agreement with the United States. And so we'll protect them. And your wealth, if you park it there, you won't pay any tax on it. You just have it there and you buy shit there, and that's enough for them. And then the rest of it's all like every Muslim in the world has to come there eventually to make the Hajj.
Together we had obliterated the killers of ISIS. We wiped them out, terminated its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi. We had healed the divide in the Gulf Cooperation Council. It's a very big deal. And united.
We healed the divide in the Gulf Cooperation Council. What?
The nations of the region to stand against the enemies of all civilization. We'd imposed unprecedented sanctions on Iran and starved the regime of resources to fund terror. They were unable to fund anything because they had no money left. They had no.
Yeah, terror is actually cheap, if you'll know. That's why a lot of impoverished countries and smaller countries engage in terror, because it's not expensive. None of what Hamas did on October 7th or before or since has been expensive, especially with all those free Russian guns.
But the administration came in and let them have a lot of money, and you saw what happened. It was not money well spent. And with the historic Abraham Accords that we're so proud of, all the momentum was aimed at peace, and it aimed very successfully. It's been an amazing thing, the Abraham Accords, and it's my fervent hope, wish, and even my dream that Saudi Arabia, a place I have such respect for, especially over the last fairly short period of time, what you've been able to do.
Fairly short period of time.
Joining the Abraham Accords, I think it'll be a tremendous tribute to your country, and it'll be something that's really going to be very important for the future of the Middle East. I took a risk in doing them, and they've been an absolute bonanza for the countries that have joined.
A bonanza.
The Biden administration did nothing for 4 years. We would have had it filled out. But it will be a special day in the Middle East with the whole world watching when Saudi Arabia joins us, and you'll be...
Uh-oh. Besson's dead. It had to happen.
Greatly honoring me, and you'll be greatly honoring all of those people that have fought so hard for the Middle East, and I really think it's going to be...
For the Middle East? You do realize that the warring parties in those areas are all from the Middle East. The Middle East encompasses not just the countries you like. It's not like the Middle East and Iran or something. It's all of them. You realize, okay.
Something special, but you'll do it in your own time, and that's what I want, and that's what you want, and that's the way it's going to be.
I guess. So consent is now important to you. All right. Hey, that's progress.
When I left office, the only thing still standing between this region and its unbelievable potential was a small group of...
Was the slurping? It was the slurping, wasn't it? That was the thing that was holding everybody back. Like in the middle of a meeting, you'd start slurping and everybody's like, what the fuck?
Rogue actors and violent thugs seeking constantly to drag the Middle East backward and into havoc, mayhem, and indeed into war. Unfortunately,
which is way worse than havoc and mayhem, I gotta say.
Instead of confronting these destructive forces, the last U.S. administration chose to enrich them and empower them and give them billions and billions of dollars.
Why would they do such a thing? I've decided to come down here and give you billions and billions of dollars specifically in weapons. You know, we were going to do it in September, but
Administration, the worst administration in the history of our country, by the way, spurned our most trusted and long-standing Gulf partners, and I can say partners worldwide, one of our great, great partners, no matter who we look to, and we have great partners in the world.
a lot of partners. That's the whole thing. Is that you know, I think everybody should be able to have as many partners as they want, especially the prince. Sorry. All right.
But we have none stronger and nobody like the gentleman that's right before me. He's your greatest representative, greatest representative.
Well, I got to say, I don't know how much he means that, honestly, because that's one of those guys that if you don't say that, you could not make it out of the room in some cases.
And if I didn't like him, I'd get out of here so fast.
Yeah, because you'd have to, because it wouldn't be safe.
You know that, don't you? He knows me well.
I like him, though. I like hanging out. I look at him. I like looking at his face. He makes me smile. And my wife doesn't make me smile like this, but you... I like him a lot. Oh, I like him. Sorry. It's a little awkward.
I like him a lot.
You know what? I swear to God, you know how much better the world would be if this asshole came out of the closet? He's like, wait a minute. I don't hate women. I've been treating them terribly this whole time because I'm ashamed that I love men. I mean, bless his evil, shitty heart. If he was able to break through, just be himself, that's why we don't yuck anybody's yum, ladies and gentlemen.
I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not playing the song. I'm not. It happens. I think it's automatic now. What?
Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Pants and thongs and vests and thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Buster.
All right, sorry. Good Lord. That's fucking amazing. Like, what the hell?
Fast. You know that, don't you? He knows me well. I do. I like him a lot. I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know? Too much. I like you too much.
I like it too much. I make good babies for you. I like it so much not speak good. Words hard to make say. I love you. This is fucking creepy. I'm just glad he's an adult. Like, at this point, it's fine. But shit. I love you too much, okay? All right? I like it too much. It's a little embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm like, you're not even in a room. I think about you, and it just comes out of my face. Oh, God. You know what the funny thing is? You know what's making me laugh the most about this? Can you imagine Glenn Beck or any of these other folks like Peanut Butter Dickhead or Greg Kelly, who would be incredibly jealous? Oh my God. Greg Kelly probably has somebody photoshopping him into Mohammed bin Salman's seat right now. But imagine being a big fan of Trump's. Imagine celebrating the man. Just you think he's the savior this country has been waiting for. And you're sitting back there watching his big overseas trip, and he says this.
And if I didn't like him, I'd get out of here so fast. You know that, don't you? He knows me well. I do. I like him a lot. I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know? Too much. I like you too much.
He doesn't even talk that way to fucking Melania. What in the world? Because I'm literally, like, I'm just, all those assholes that I cover on my show, I can't not imagine them watching this going, what the fuck? What? What is this? What is he doing? Why is he saying this? You know, everybody but Greg Kelly, who's like, why would he say that to me? Can you imagine being, like, just sitting next to one of these motherfuckers? Is he on ecstasy? Yeah, they probably dosed him right before. He has no idea. They just fucking, they spiked his fucking Happy Meal with Molly or some shit.
Great guy. They lifted sanctions.
Great guy. Tight pants. Can you imagine Jesse Waters having to defend that clip? Oh, shit. I needed this. I think I needed this. This is so fucking silly.
On Iran in exchange for getting nothing, and sent the regime tens of billions of dollars to fund terror and death all over the world. And they laughed at him. They laughed at our leader. And they're still laughing at our leader. They thought him
Yeah, they are. Yes, you're the leader now, and they are definitely laughing at you.
fool. And they made nothing but trouble ever since, including the funding of October 7th, one of the worst days ever in the history of the Middle East. Horrible day. Biden removed the...
Notice how there wasn't a peep from this crowd of agreement. I don't know how you applaud it,
Houthis
but I
from
get
the list of foreign terrorist organizations, even while missiles and drones were being launched right here at your beautiful
they were being launched.
city of Riyadh, and launched at ships if they happened to be sailing in the wrong location. The Biden...
Ugh. I gotta tell you in context with how he talks about MBS, I'm just assuming that every time he makes that bizarre slurping noise, he's sneaking a peek.
Administration's extreme weakness and gross incompetence derailed progress toward peace, destabilized the region, and put at risk everything we had worked so hard to build together. And when you think of the great achievements that you've made, to do it in light of a pretty hostile administration, an administration that was not a believer, it makes your achievements even greater. Makes them even greater. You know that.
Yeah, because Biden stayed up late trying to shut down Saudi Arabia's economic growth. What?
But in a few short months since taking office, we have achieved the swift return of American strength at home and abroad, now working with the vast majority of people in this region who seek stability and calm. Our task is to unify
Both of them.
against the few agents of chaos and terror that are left
The few hundreds of thousands.
and that are holding hostage the dreams of millions and millions of great people.
And actual hostages. Like the Houthis and Hamas, for example.
The biggest and most destructive of these forces is the regime in Iran, which has caused
Iran.
unthinkable suffering in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond. There could be no sharper contrast with the path you have pursued on the Arabian Peninsula than the
Peninsular, where you have Tesla.
disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran. Think of the
Wait, it's the Gulf of Iran now?
right across on the Arabian Peninsula, then the disaster unfolding right across in the Gulf of Iran.
Oh, he's renaming it the Gulf of Iran now? Sorry, Persian Gulf. You're getting fucked. Jesus.
Think of that.
No, I don't think they like thinking of that you rename the Persian Gulf the Gulf of Iran, you weirdo.
They wanted to name it that. I said, they're not going to let them do that. Do you mind if I stop that? I stopped it.
Oh, you stopped it. You made it up. That just happened in your fucking head, you dim bulb.
We're not going to let that happen.
What are you going to do about it? We won't change our maps. Okay. Welcome to Mexico, motherfucker. What? I didn't know Stephen Miller was there.
While you have been constructing the world's tallest skyscrapers in Jeddah and Dubai,
I've been in the Burj Khalifa, so it's impressive. Yeah, it's based on a lotus and it spirals into the sky. It's like a giant uncircumcised cock that's fucking the sky. It's a testament.
Tehran's 1979 landmarks are
Across the Gulf, Iran. No, Frida. He said the Gulf of Iran, and the way he corrected himself was making up some bullshit story that they were going to name it that. Listen to this again.
in the Gulf of Iran.
Of Iran. Think of that, the Gulf of Iran.
Right across in the Gulf of Iran.
Right across the Gulf of Iran.
Of that. They wanted to name it that. I said,
he knows he fucked up. He means right across the Gulf in Iran. He said of Iran. He made it up in his own fucking head. And so he makes up this apocryphal bullshit story to cover it. That's what that was. You're just seeing, this might as well be a fucking sketch. Yeah. This might as well be like a Love It sketch. Of Iran. That's what they were going to name it. Yeah, that's the ticket. They were going to name it the Gulf of Iran. Yeah, and I stopped him. I put a stop to it with my girlfriend, Miss Morgan Fairchild. Yes, that was her name.
Let them do that. Do you mind if I stop that? I stopped it. We're not going to let that happen. While you have been constructing the world's tallest skyscrapers in Jeddah and Dubai, Tehran's 1979 landmarks are collapsing into rubble and dust. They had it going for a little while under a much...
They had it going for a little while. They're rubble and dust.
...different system. But those buildings are largely falling apart, falling down, while you're building some of the world's biggest and most incredible infrastructure projects.
Infrastructure?
Buildings, all sorts of things.
That's what, okay, buildings, yes. Not quite infrastructure, just buildings.
A building that nobody's ever even seen before. Iran's decades of...
The Tower of Invisibility, yes. Yes, it's where all the women work so that we can walk by and look up their skirts. It's called Upskirt Towers.
Neglect and mismanagement have left the country plagued by rolling blackouts lasting for hours a day. All the time you hear about it.
You do. You hear about it all the time. I mean, because the phone still works. They can call and
Your skill has turned dry deserts into fertile farmland. Iran's leaders have managed to turn green farmland into dry deserts as their...
How? What? No, they haven't.
Water mafia. It's called it the water mafia. Causes droughts and empty riverbeds. They get rich, but they don't let the people have any of it. And then, of course,
they get rich off the water that they don't give to people or allow them to have. They're rich with water, which I guess, if you're in a desert, that would be a great currency.
There's the key difference at the root of it all. While the Arab states have focused on becoming pillars of regional stability and world commerce, Iran's leaders have focused on stealing their people's wealth to fund terror and bloodshed abroad. Most tragic of all, they have dragged down an entire region with them. Countless lives were lost in the Iranian effort to maintain a crumbling regime in Syria. Look at what happened with Syria.
Look at what happened with Syria. We gave Russia 2 military bases, and we left, and we sent our soldiers from Syria home. I mean, not home, down to your country to guard your gas fields to keep the Houthis from blowing them up. And while that happened, the Russians allowed the Iranians to transfer missiles and arms to Hamas and Hezbollah via those bases that we left behind in Syria. It's just a track. Oh, I wasn't talking about that. I'm just kidding.
Lebanon, their Hezbollah proxies have pillaged the hopes of a nation whose capital, Beirut, was once called the Paris of the Middle East. Can you imagine all of this misery and so much more?
I thought Bali was the Paris, well, it's Southeast Asia, I guess, considering it was named after Paris because that's how you pronounce Paris in their language.
Was entirely avoidable, absolutely avoidable. And Mohammed
Yeah, it was right there in the road, and you could have swerved.
knew that. He knew that. Smart
He
people
knew that. He knew that. Smart people knew that. I'm trying to draw the crowd in this. I know I'm losing you. Oh, and Hegseth's on Signal right now. They can't get into my phone here. Saudis don't have this kind of technology.
that if only the Iranian regime had
Hey, do you want to tell Hegseth that the same people that did the security for Hillary's server also did the security for the Saudi royal family? Or shall I tell him that they hired the same company to do their security, Hillary's server and the Saudis, because they were the best? It's one of the reasons why the State Department was hacked into. David Petraeus got his Google account hacked, as did Colin Powell, but somehow nobody ever was able to break into Hillary's server. Not even the Saudis if they'd wanted to, and that might be why. It's curious.
focused on building their nation up instead of tearing the region down. Yet I'm here today
Oh, God, the slurping.
not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world, even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran.
Yeah. If you want to destroy all the Jews in the world and obliterate Iran, obliterate Israel, no matter how many lives it takes to get there. And has Pete ever testified to Congress? No, he has not. He's going to have to because he's got appropriations to do. But and so that's when Democrats will pounce on him. But no.
I have never believed in having permanent enemies.
Well, yeah, you couldn't if you had friends like Roy Cohn and Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, what could anyone possibly do to offend you?
I'm different than a lot of people think. I don't like permanent enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. And
What? You need enemies to do the job? What do you mean, like hired hitmen or?
get you motivated. In fact,
That's right. Yeah. We need that's why I'm glad there's terrorism in the world, or I'd never get to the gym. Fuck me.
of the closest friends of the United States of America, nations we fought wars against in generations past, and now they're
Yes. You mean like the UK and Japan, the people you are fucking right now with your stupid trade bullshit because you got a chip on your shoulder about China, but you can't admit you were such a fuck up during your last term in terms of trade with them and everybody gave you so much shit about it, you had to start a pick a fight with the whole fucking world?
friends and our allies. I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy if we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure.
Massive maximum pressure. I gotta say, that sounds like tactical nukes to me.
Iranian oil exports to zero, like I did before. You know that? They were virtually bankrupt.
Oh, by the way, the Saudis would like it if Iranian oil exports went to zero, and Venezuela. It benefits Saudi Arabia and Russia if that happens because it drives the price of oil up, if you guarantee that they're off the market. Now, the Saudis, truth be told, probably don't want Russia to re-enter the market at all either, but there are certain countries that won't buy from Saudi Arabia but will buy from Russia for some reason, so they figure they'll just split up those countries between them. But if you can take Iranian oil and Venezuelan oil out of the mix, it will guarantee a price per barrel that the Saudis can live with, even if OPEC Plus has to raise its production, which it had to do.
Because of what I did, they had no money for terror. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah.
By the way, October 7th probably cost less than $100,000. All in, including the shit they already had, the little fucking copters and the vehicles and the guns and stuff like.
And take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
But we will.
But with that said, Iran can have a much brighter future, but will never allow America and its allies to be threatened with terrorism or nuclear attack. The choice is theirs to make. We really want them to be a successful country. We want them to be a wonderful, safe, great country. But they cannot have a nuclear weapon. This is an offer that will not last.
Yeah, Pakistan can have one, not Iran. That's one of the reasons why they don't take this fucking seriously.
Forever. The time is...
By the way, if Balochistan actually breaks away from Pakistan, there will be 3 countries with nukes in that area, and Balochistan will have more than Pakistan does.
Right now, for them to choose. Right now, we don't have a lot of time to wait. Things are happening at a very fast pace. They're happening right here. They're happening at a very fast pace. So they have to make their move right now. One way or the other, make your move. As I said...
One way or another. If you're serious about this whole martyr thing, then fucking go for it. That's what he's saying. One way or another. If you want peace, sign something. If you don't want peace, just bomb the fuck out of everybody, will you? Get it over with.
My inaugural address, my greatest hope is to be a peacemaker and to be a unifier.
That's why I brought the largest shipment of arms that Saudi Arabia has ever seen.
I don't like war. We have the greatest...
Well, yeah, we understand that, Bone Spurs.
Military, by the way, in the history of the world. You know, I rebuilt our military in my first 4 years and rebuilt it into the most powerful military there is. And you saw that when I knocked out ISIS in 3 weeks. People said it would take 4 years, 5 years. I did it. We did it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's how you do it if you don't care about civilian casualties. Yeah, the reason people were saying it would take as long as they thought is because they meant strategic, targeted attacks. But if you remove all the rules of engagement, you can solve a lot of things quickly. I mean, why not just use the Hiroshima and Nagasaki plan while you're at it?
Just days ago, my administration successfully brokered a historic ceasefire to stop the escalating violence between India and Pakistan.
No, he didn't.
And I used trade to a large extent to do it. I said, fellas, come on, let's make a deal. Let's do some trading. Let's not trade nuclear missiles. Let's trade the things that you make so beautifully. And
yes, all those the things that, like all the stuff we get from Pakistan, it's in everything. It's like, there's this thing that, they only make, I'm trying to forget, it's like, I mean, we know that India has, giant pharmaceutical plants and technological stuff, and they do call centers, and we have relationships with them. Apple's moving a factory there, but Pakistan equally has that. They make the. What do you want to trade? What do you got?
We both have very powerful leaders, very strong leaders, good leaders, smart leaders. And it all stopped.
And by the way, he knows Modi. You probably can't remember his name right now, but he definitely fucking doesn't know the leader of Pakistan. He'll probably still thinks it's Khan. Khan!
It'll remain that way, but it all stopped. I was very proud of Marco Rubio and all of the people that worked so hard. Marco, stand up. What a great job you did on that. Thank you, J.D. Vance, Marco. The whole group worked with you, but there was a
Oh, so good. Yeah, they did a great job staying out of it.
great job. And I think they're actually getting along. Maybe we can even get them together a little bit, Marco, where they go out and have a nice dinner together.
Nope.
Be nice. But we even
Yeah, that'll do it. Just take it's and nobody really cares about any of this shit. It's all window dressing. These aren't long-standing conflicts over anything. Just have dinner. It's over. Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's all just a deal. It's all about real estate. Nobody cares about what they say they care about. There's no deeply held religious beliefs at the core of all this stuff.
we've come a long way, and it could be, millions of people could have died from that conflict that started off.
They still can.
All it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger by the day. I've also been working relentlessly to end the terrible bloodshed between Russia and Ukraine, and very importantly, talks are being held in Turkey later this week, probably on Thursday.
Probably. It's important. Probably is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
And they could produce some pretty good results.
Totally. Everybody gets free tickets to the new Steven Seagal movie. They're nesting dolls for everyone.
Our people are going
A lot of vodka.
to be going there. Marco's going to be going there. Others are going to be going, and we'll see.
Yeah, lots of people. The Fritzes, they're both a lovely couple from Owenton. They're going to move down there.
We can get it done. 5,000 people, young people for the most part, soldiers from Ukraine, soldiers from Russia. They're not from here and they're not from the United States, but they're souls. They're souls. I think usually, mostly, they're young, beautiful souls that left
Instead of these old, crusty souls,
parents waving
young, beautiful souls.
goodbye, left their brothers and sisters. Goodbye, I'll see you soon. And they got blown to pieces.
I think he's missed his calling. Should have been a doctor with this kind of a bedside manner.
5,000 on average a week are dying, and people are dying elsewhere in the region.
That is true. People are dying elsewhere.
But tremendous numbers like we haven't seen since World War II are dying, and I want to stop it. I want to stop it.
I thought you were going to stop it with one fucking phone call, right?
A horrible war would have never
Or I guess you were just joking about that?
happened if I were president.
Well, then why didn't it stop once you became president again? Right? If it wouldn't have happened just because you were president, now that you're president, shouldn't it just magically stop? Shouldn't Russia just go, oh shit, daddy's home, and go back to their fucking 91 borders of the last line that they were before they started this shit, right? I mean, if your presence was the thing that stopped it, why is your presence not ending it now, just magically? I think, and I may be wrong about this, but I'm fairly certain.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
Right.
A war that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened if I were president, because Iran had no money to pay Hamas or anybody else. They had no
Yeah, they'd have done it for free, asshole. They basically did.
money. They were not looking to take care of them. They had to take care of themselves. They had no money.
And again, his transactional nature, where he literally says, he's so focused on tit for tat or quid pro quo in his life, every relationship he has is transactional, that he personally believes that the only reason Hamas did the attack that they did is because we got all this money sitting around. We might as well go.
We stopped their oil effectively with the embargoes and sanctions. But let me take this opportunity to thank the
Jesus, this is him finally getting back to the teleprompter after that ramble.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the constructive role that you've played in facilitating the Ukraine talks. And it really is, you've been amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's basically, it ended thanks to you guys. Yeah, you were almost as helpful as he was.
Everything available to us. Thank you very much. Thank you. And if we get that settled, we'll pay a special tribute to what you've done. You really did lay a great groundwork. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
How? Fuck are you talking about? What, did they make an offer that Putin can flee to Abu Dhabi and hide there after this shit goes down? I wouldn't doubt it. As a matter of fact, that's probably a deal they could offer. They should just fucking go up to Putin and go, look, stop this shit right now and we'll give you one of these Palm Islands. You can live there by yourself and fuck all the boys you want. That's what they would offer him.
The West should not be dragging itself backward into another endless war in Europe, yet another endless war.
What do you mean, yet another endless war? Which last European war didn't end? For real. What you think? Bosnia? World War II? World War I? You think these didn't end? Shit, we wouldn't have a World War II unless the first one ended. We wouldn't even be talking about the potential for World War III if the second one hadn't ended, would we, dumb fuck?
We should stop the killing and work together to address the biggest long-term threats as one unbeatable team. Think of us as an unbeatable team. I mean...
Oh, you mean against Russia, the one big threat? That would be the Ruski Mir, the idea that Russian domination with China running the infrastructure of it? Yeah.
You look at what you've done here, that's much more difficult than stopping stupidity.
No, it's not. No. If construction stopped stupidity, all the dumb people on Earth would have disappeared after the Empire State Building was built, you weirdo.
Think of it.
Yeah, they're thinking of it, and they're going, Jesus, this guy's an asshole.
Stupidity. What you've done is much more difficult, and you did it better than anybody else has ever done it. As President of the United...
What? No, they have not. I mean, they may... Okay, I will give them this kind of credit. In the modern era, there has never been a greater use of slavery for the construction of buildings particularly than what has happened in the UAE and specifically in Dubai. It's really impressive. Not since the Arab slave trade, which, by the way, went on for, I mean, you could argue it's still going on, but went on heavily well beyond its function in North America and South America. But
States.
Jesus.
My preference will always be for peace and partnership whenever those outcomes can be achieved. Always. It's always going to be that way.
Yeah. As is every other American president, because, yeah, I mean, what you're saying is you disagree with Putin's approach. Just say that then, you wuss.
Fool would think otherwise. In recent years, far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use...
That's a George Bush thing, right?
U.S. policy to dispense justice for their sins. They loved using our very powerful military, and now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. We just...
Is he talking about, like, George W. Bush's thing about looking in Putin's eyes and seeing his soul or whatever? Or fucking us looking at Saddam Hussein? Good Lord.
Are getting a budget.
He's mixing it. I don't even think he knows those are two different stories.
$1 trillion, highest budget we've ever had in history for military. $1 trillion. And we're getting the greatest missiles, the greatest weapons. And, you know, I hate to do it, but you have to do it because we believe in peace through strength. You have to.
Right. I want to be the peace president, but sometimes you got to fuck a some bitch up.
The strength, otherwise bad things could happen. But
yeah. nothing bad ever happens when you have way too many missiles.
Hopefully, we'll never have to use any of those weapons. Seems to be an awfully big waste of money if you're never going to use them, but hopefully...
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a shame. I mean, I want to be a peaceful president or whatever, but, I mean, you got these things laying around. It'd be a shame not to use them. It seems like a waste if they just sit there rusting. I mean, you should be able to... And there's got to be somebody worth bombing. We're almost done, by the way.
Never have to use them because the destructive power of some of those weapons are like nobody's seen before. I believe it.
Well, yeah, most of our big destructive bombs, nobody's ever seen it. Certainly not up close and lived to tell the tale.
God's job to sit in judgment, my job to defend America and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. That's what I really want to do. I will never hesitate to wield American power if it's necessary to defend the United States or to help defend our allies.
Unless it's NATO, of course, or Ukraine, But, anybody you've got golf courses in. I suppose Ukraine, maybe here's a good idea. Give this dumbass a golf course. You can dig it up and turn it into a public park when he's dead. So, temporarily, though.
And there will be no mercy for any foe who tries to do us or them harm. We will have no mercy. They understand that. That's why I've been...
I'm a man of peace, and that's no mercy is part of my... It's my favorite part of the Sermon on the Mount, where he said there will be... blessed are the merciful, because they will get their ass handed to them, and I will fuck some bitches up with these missiles, because it'd be a shame not to... You spend all this money. I mean, come on.
Pretty
Man.
lucky. A lot of people think, he's looking to fight. He's looking to fight, and things get settled. It's an amazing thing when they really think you mean it. But we do.
When they really think you mean it. So you're basically saying to Iran, you don't mean it. Call my bluff.
Greatest military, the strongest military, stronger than any. Nobody's even close. We have the best weapons in the world, but we don't want to use them. If you threaten America or our partners, however, then you'll be faced with overwhelming strength and devastating force. We have things.
That's my little message to Iran. We want you to prosper, but if you don't feel like prospering, start bombing everyone, and then we'll just turn your cities into glass and ash.
That you don't even know about, you don't hear about, and if you did, you'd say, wow. In recent weeks,
You would. Things that make you say, wow. Like if you knew about our weapons, you go, wow. Flagging.
Repeated attacks on American ships and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. The United States military launched more than 1,100 strikes on the Houthis in Yemen. As a result, the Houthis agreed to stop. They said, we don't want this anymore.
No, they didn't. And I got news for you. Everybody there has Al Jazeera on their TV. They know this isn't true.
It's the first time you've heard that from them, too. They're tough. They're fighters. But just days ago, we were asked to cease targeting commercial. They were not going to be targeting commercial ships in any way, shape, or form.
Sorry, just private ships? Just rowboats and...
Anything American. And they were very...
Yeah, Chinese, it's okay. Keep those Chinese hostages. It'll be great. Maybe one day Hassan Piker can fucking interview one of those guys. Get a Chinese translator to tell him to go fuck himself.
That we stopped, but we had 52 days of thunder and lightning like they've never seen before.
They kind of have seen it before.
This was a swift, ferocious, decisive, and extremely successful use of military force. Not that we wanted to do it, but they were shooting down ships. They were shooting at you.
They don't shoot down ships. You do realize these ships float. He does know this, right? He knows the things in the air are called airplanes, and the things on the water are called ships.
Shooting at Saudi Arabia. We don't want them shooting at Saudi Arabia, if that's okay.
if that's okay. I'm being, kind of cutesy about it, but really.
So we hit them hard. We got what we came for, and then we got out. Since January 20th.
Sorry, we got what we came for? What? Do we have a number of holes in the ground we needed to make quota?
U.S. military has terminated 83 terrorist leaders operating across Iraq, Syria, and Somalia, including ISIS's #2 global leader. You read about that just recently. With the help of Pakistan, we apprehended the ISIS terrorists responsible for the attack on 13 American service members at Abbey Gate, that horrible, horrible disaster during this Afghanistan withdrawal. That's another thing that we don't.
I think it's the most embarrassing thing in the world. Not the fact that you ran on getting us out and you never did, and Biden had to do it.
Don't think about so much anymore. 13 died, but 42 were horribly wounded. But hundreds of people died overall, because I count the people on the other side.
The other side? Sorry, you mean the civilian Afghanis that were trying to flee the country because it was falling? They weren't on the other side. There wasn't a side they were on. They were just civilians trying to leave. They were killed by an ISIS bomber, allowed in by the Taliban because they wanted to stop the brain drain that was happening in Afghanistan. They wanted to make all the smart people who run everything, like the fucking plumbing and the transportation systems, afraid to leave. And it worked for a time.
The people just grossly incompetent. It's probably why Putin decided to go into Ukraine.
Which was apparently a terrible decision on his part.
Something he never would have done if I were president. But we wouldn't have had the problems of October 7th if I were president.
Yeah, you said that part already, and still no one believes it. You can't keep saying it and make it true, you weirdo.
We wouldn't have had Ukraine, Russia if I were president. We wouldn't have had Abbey Gate. Because
okay, well, I guess the biggest question is if anything bad happens during your presidency, can Biden say we wouldn't have had that if I was president? Or are you just going to blame him too?
There wouldn't have been any reason we were getting out, but we were getting out with dignity and with strength and.
You weren't getting out at all, dum-dum.
Power. But the way they got out was not good. I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
No. Every day that we were in there past the day we should have left was increasingly embarrassing, including the entirety of your presidency. But I think the biggest single embarrassing day was the day that you released 5,000 Taliban fighters before we started evacuating our people. The pickle, I am running for president in 2028, just so you know. Because if this jackass can do it twice, there's just no excuse.
And we've been working tirelessly to bring back all hostages held by Hamas. We brought back a lot already, but we're bringing back more. This weekend, we successfully negotiated the release of the last American hostage.
And then you hung everybody else out to dry.
Dan Alexander just came out a few hours ago, and we continue to work to get that war ended as quickly as possible. It's a horrible thing that's taking place.
Yeah, again, when there are a lot of civilians in a very tightly knit area, and this includes Israel, you can't end a war as quickly as possible. That basically says one side or the other has to just obliterate civilians and get it over. Again, this is the Hiroshima idea. We have to get this over as fast as possible. The fastest way possible is total obliteration with no care about civilian lives. So when he says that, he wants to get it over right away. He means that for Hamas, and he means it for Gaza, and he means it for Ukraine as well, on Russia's behalf.
Civilized people must condemn the October 7th atrocities against Israel, which would never have happened again if you had probably a different president, but definitely if you had me as president. The people of Gaza deserve a much better future, but that will...
Yeah, just not on that land is what you're saying?
But that will or can not occur as long as their leaders choose to kidnap, torture, and target innocent men, women, and children for political ends. The way those people are treated in Gaza, there's not a place in the world where people are treated so badly. It's horrible.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of places like that. As a matter of fact, a bunch of those guys who are right in front of you rule over areas specifically where they do a shit like that. They do a lot of shit like that. I'm sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, ask the women who've been snatched off the street for not wearing a hijab in Iran. Ask fucking Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
After years of suffering, two of the nations most ravaged by terror are finally beginning to end their long nightmares under the new generation of leaders. In Lebanon, where a friend of mine has just become the ambassador. He's going to be great. I said, you know, that could be a very dangerous job. He said, I was born there. I'm Lebanese. I love that country. I said, but it's very dangerous. You know, this is a friend of mine from New York.
Yeah, New York, which is not a dangerous place.
But it's very dangerous. Are you sure you want to do it? I never thought.
You sure? Why do you give a fuck about? I mean, I know you're from there, but you live in New York. So why do you care about people who might be getting killed or something? I mean, what's in it for you?
Him as being a warrior, but he is a warrior. He loves his country. He said, if I'm injured or die, I'm dying for a country that I love. He grew up there. It's horrible what's happened in Lebanon, but you have a great ambassador, I can tell you that. In Lebanon, which has been endlessly victimized by Hezbollah and their sponsor, Iran, a new president.
Iran.
Prime Minister.
Some of these words just jump out of his belly and like almost without permission. Iran. What was... try to say certain words and it just comes out like... Hezbollah and their sponsors, Iran.
The first real chance in decades for a more productive partnership with the United States, and we're going to work with their new ambassador and everybody else, Marco, and we're going to see if we can really help them out and let them get over that very high grid that they're going to have to get over.
Also, why is he on like a dick stage? Why are there just like these weird balls and then this like this stunted cock kind of display? What is that stage? What is that supposed to be?
My administration stands ready to help Lebanon create a future of economic development and peace with its neighbors. They have tremendous people in Lebanon, doctors, lawyers, great professional people. I hear it so many times.
Yeah, most of them have fled.
Likewise in Syria, which has seen so much misery.
Not likewise. Very, very, very different. Oh, Water Goddess, thank you. I will check my Venmo. Oh, that's so sweet. Sparks for 2028. Seriously, we need to start raising money like yesterday. Oh, thank you. I agree. I'm going to announce, properly next year in the lead up to the midterms.
In death, there is a new.
But I got to get signatures. That's going to be the hard part. The rest of it'll be easy. If I can just get on the ballots in each state, that'll do it. That's all I need to do. It's just going to be a matter of signatures. Thank you. So,
that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace. That's what we want to see in Syria. They've had their share of travesty war, killing.
Travesty wars are the worst.
Many years. That's
This is an exciting speech, and you can tell, but this guy's on 2 phones because he's so bored.
why my administration has already taken the first steps toward restoring normal relations between the United States and Syria for the first time in more than a decade.
Well, that's because they have a different leadership for the first time in more than 2 decades.
And I'm very pleased to announce that Secretary Marco Rubio will be meeting with the new Syrian foreign minister in Turkey later this week, and very importantly,
that he's not going to Syria to meet with him because it's fucking dangerous.
After discussing the situation in Syria with the Crown
Thanks, Mud. Yes, I'm gonna need like really like proud worker posters of me staring into the rising sun, holding a rubber chicken, something like that.
Prince, your Crown Prince,
Who is Foxy? Sorry.
and also with President Erdogan of Turkey, who called me the other day and asked for a very similar thing, among others, and friends of mine, people that I have a lot of respect for in the Middle East.
Erdogan.
I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness.
Mm-hmm. Somehow, looks like Elon's a little upset about that one. It's all you need. Which means they'll be able to buy arms, and that means the Russians that are supporting the Wagner guys, and it's not even they're supporting a local group, it's their own fucking people, will get driven out. And then Trump doesn't realize this, so it's gonna get gnarly for a while, but it will never make the newspapers over here, so who cares? Fucking
Oh, what I do for the Crown Prince.
What? Wow, we're just bringing that shit back right away.
The sanctions were brutal and crippling and served as an important function, nevertheless, at the time. But now it's their time to shine. It's their time to shine. We're taking...
That's right, they're gonna shine. You know, like when someone burns toast.
all off, and they're going to have, I think they're going to have, based on the people and the spirit and everything else that I'm hearing about.
Something very special.
So I say, good luck, Syria. Show us something very special like they've
There you go, what'd I say?
done, frankly, in Saudi Arabia. Okay, they're going to show us something special. Very good people. Everywhere.
I'm sure there are some good people there, no question. As far as the leadership,
We can. My administration is pursuing peaceful engagement, offering a strong and steady hand of friendship to all that will take it.
yes, offering a steady hand of friendship to anyone who will put some gold in it, quite frankly, or some crypto, or some cash. Cash will work. You know, any kind of thing. Deed to an airplane, perhaps, maybe.
In good faith. Together we have made.
Together. Hold on. Together.
To all that will take it in good faith. Together we have made.
Together.
To all that will take it in good faith. Together we have made unprecedented strides and tremendous progress, and we're still just at the dawn of the bright new day that awaits for the people of the Middle East, the great, great people of the Middle East.
The great, great people, especially the friends and family members of the 19 Saudi hijackers. You know, let bygones be bygones. Let pilots, well, I would call them pilots, you have to learn how to land, come over to our country.
The responsible nations of this region seize this moment.
This reason. Uh-oh. He started to tap out.
If the responsible nations of this region seize this moment.
Region sees? Is that the hard part? Of responsible people of this region seize this moment?
Put aside your different.
Fuck it, that's, yeah, squoze out.
Responsible nations of this region seize this.
Just fucking gives up on that word midway through.
Put put aside your differences and focus on the interests that unite you, then all of humanity will soon be amazed at what they will see right here in this geographic center of the world. It really is. It's
will.
like a center of the world.
It is like a center of the world, except it isn't, but sure.
And the spiritual heart of its greatest faiths. For
Faiths.
first time in 1,000 years, the world will look at this region not as a place of turmoil and strife and war and death,
Yeah, that's all going to come to a close real quick.
but as a land of opportunity and hope, just like you've done right here, a
Yeah, I mean, not if you're a woman, but sure.
cultural and commercial crossroads of the planet. Security and stability will lift millions into lives of safety and success.
Yes, they will be completely free of Jews. So that's, that makes it easier on. So there's a bunch of people in the United States, good friends of mine, they'd love to come down here and hang out and this stuff in kind of a, and they don't really have to worry about bumping into any Jews.
The nations of this region will be free to realize
The nations of this region?
safety and success, and the nations of this region will
Yes, rigid. The nations of this region. Sure.
be free to realize your highest destinies, honor
Your destinies.
your proud histories, harness amazing new opportunities, and bring incredible glory to Almighty God. People will come from
Obviously not the same God, even though I hear it's the same guy, but different names. Obviously, you got a different path.
all over the globe to be inspired by the cities you build, the businesses you create, the technologies you invent, and the beauty,
The technologies.
talent, and potential you unleash right in the hearts of your citizens.
Hearts.
Each of you will be able to take tremendous pride in the legacy you will leave to your children, because you will have given them the ultimate blessings of prosperity and peace. So important. In the
So
United
important.
States, we've launched the golden age of America. It's the golden age. We see it.
It's such the golden age. You thought it wasn't, but it is.
We see it with all that money, trillions and trillions of dollars pouring in, hundreds of thousands of jobs coming in with it. And with the help of the people
Well, robot jobs, sure. I mean, hey, AI's got to eat. Oh, no, it doesn't. Never mind.
of the Middle East, the people in this room, partners throughout the region, the golden age of the Middle East can proceed right alongside of us. We will work together. We will be together. We will
We'll toss and turn together.
succeed together. We will win together. And we will always be friends.
Unless you do some of that 9/11 shit again, in which case it'll be a little awkward. I'm just saying, it's not like I'm going to be mad, but it'll just... Thanksgiving's going to be tense.
Thank you. So, Mohammed, I want to thank you again very much for
Yes, in person, later on. Get some of that Diddy oil.
having me. And as a representative of what I think is the greatest nation in the world, we are with you all the way, and you have a tremendous future. Thank you very much. And please pay my respects to your father. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What an ass kisser. Holy shit. And they played YMCA on his way out. Yeah, so that was the Riyadh speech, by the way, chat room. By the way, hit that like, share the show. This is a late night hangout we're all having. Other people will watch this later, perhaps. If you're watching it another time, just give some love to the show, if you could. Something like that. You can always super thanks it, I think. Whatever. That was rough. Now, I should go to bed because I have to get up early and it's late. But one more thing. This is shorter. They had a little gaggle with Elon Musk at the same thing on the same stage. They put chairs out and they had these little like investment forum talks. this is a piece of that or all of it. I don't know how. Maybe it was only a few minutes. I feel like it seems like he should have talked longer, but this is only 8 minutes. So
That's the spirit.
Thank you.
Elon, my dear friend, we're honored to have President Trump. We're honored under the sponsorship and guidance of His Royal Highness to celebrate a U.S.-Saudi and a Saudi-U.S. relationship that is 92 years old, about how we move from an oil-based economy to an innovation-based economy.
because we're out of oil and we really don't have a choice.
Powered by wonderful technologies that definitely you're one of the pioneers in this industry. Just show to His Royal Highness some of your Optimus robots.
Yeah.
And to President
Your robots.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Tell me about them.
Yes, so we just showed several of our Tesla Optimus robots to His Highness and President Trump, and I think they were very impressed.
Even though they're not really robots, they're sort of mannequins with like animatronic elements that are run by human beings off to the side, making their arms move and talk. They don't. They're kind of shitty, like D-grade figure robots.
In fact, one of our robots did the Trump dance, which I think was pretty cool.
The YMCA, yeah?
Yeah, to YMCA.
Yeah, that's not embarrassing or anything.
Yeah, robots can
Also,
dance. They can.
robots can't dance. Robots cannot dance. Robots can recreate movements that are like dancing, but they don't actually dance. Dancing is an experience of a living thing, interpreting music based on feeling and physical response of a body that has mortality and limited mobility based on the joints that are in it. That's not dancing. That you can mimic it, but that's like saying, look, the man on TV that I have on, is the little guy in the television is dancing over and over again. If I rewind it, it makes him dance again. He must be exhausted.
Walk around, they can interact.
No, they can't interact. And they can't walk around. They can be walked.
I think we're headed to a radically different world. I think a good world, an interesting world. My prediction actually for humanoid robots is that
Every time I make a prediction about these things, it ends up being clipped as if I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But basically all my predictions are based on videos I've watched of other people actually who know what they're doing in the industry and what they say is going to happen.
ultimately there will be tens of billions. I think everyone will want to have their personal robot. You can think of it like as though you had your own personal C-3PO or R2-D2, but even better. Then who wouldn't want to have their own personal C-3PO or R2-D2? That would be...
I got to tell you, I think most people are looking for kind of a real doll that does windows. But technically speaking, that's not tens of billions of robots. The tens of billions of robots that'll be out there will be like lawnmowers and Roombas and window washing robots, single purpose, adaptable robots that do a specific task, but in in non-uniform environments, bomb disposal, that kind of stuff. A blowbot, right? I think that's what most guys are looking for. And again, women have been having sex with robots for years. They just use select parts.
Pretty great.
Kind of annoying. They'd always be running off, and if somebody removed the restraining bolt, the next thing you know, there'd be a fucking Sandman standing over you going, right.
I also think
Also, in case I haven't told you this before, Ex Machina is a stupid fucking movie, and it drives me fucking crazy how awful it is. Literally, Megan is more realistic, and it's absurd, but at least it's trying to be.
an immense amount of economic potential because
Because it's a new product that you think everybody will have, and the product will be cheap to produce because the product will produce the product.
Think of like, what is the output of an economy? It is productivity per capita times population or capita.
No, there's a lot of resources in that, and function of that productivity. That productivity isn't just productivity for productivity's sake. You can't just like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you had a ham slicing robot and you sold it in Israel. It would be very productive, but it would be lacking in purpose.
Once you have humanoid robots, the actual economic output potential is tremendous. It's really unlimited. Potentially, we could have an economy 10 times the size of the current global economy.
Why? If productivity is what it's based on, that means your economy is largely based on labor. No matter how productive it is, it's about how much people churn out. Well, if no one is churning that stuff out, if it's just automatically coming out because robots are creating it, there is no economic element to it. If labor costs zero, then there is no labor added in an economy. This is faffing bullshit.
Where no one wants for anything. Sometimes in AI they talk about universal basic income.
They don't talk about that in AI. They talk about that in terms of automation.
I think it's actually going to be universal high income, where anyone can have any goods or services that they want.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be based on an income. That just means the stuff is free. You could just get the free stuff. Like if you want a guitar, you go to the guitar place and it's just cranking out guitars like 24/7 and you just talk into it and one spits out. That's the idea. So money wouldn't change hands if there's zero labor costs and there's zero material costs because the robots provide the labor to get the material.
A science fiction book recommendation that I have, which I think is probably the best envisioning of an AI future, is the culture books by Ian Banks. Very highly recommended for a non-dystopian view of the future.
This is the Culture series is a science fiction series written by Scottish author Ian Banks, released from 1987 to 2012. There are 9 books in the series. Probably not well known because the first one was called, Culture Book 1 was called Consider Phlebas, which is, consider a better title maybe? Phlebas. Introduces readers to the utopian conglomeration of human and alien races that explores the nature of war, morality, and the limitless bounds of mankind's imagination. The Player of Games was the second one. Use of Weapons was the book 3. Accession was book 4. Inversions, book 5. Look to Windward, which is very different than Look to Squidward. Matter, Surface Detail, and The Hydrogen Sonata. And then there was a short story by him from the Culture thing called State of the Art. And then the Culture, there was a series of drawings that he did, which are like images that I suppose go with, like, this is a map of the countries that he's talking about and the buildings that they make and all that kind of stuff, kind of like Tolkien did. So he was really shooting for the Tolkien concept. There you go. So that's Ian Banks. That's the guy he's talking about. And it's, I think you could probably just read Abundance, which is a nonfiction book. Basically the same thing.
Now, there obviously are some risks, which illustrate perhaps if we don't do this right, you could have like a James Cameron sort of movie, Terminator.
Yeah, in case I thought you meant the Abyss.
We don't want that one.
We don't want Avatar or Titanic.
But
Also, Terminator worked out fine. The robots lost in the end because they couldn't disengage the cycle of life.
But having sort of a Star Trek future would be great, where we're out there exploring the stars, discovering the nature of the universe, and a level of prosperity and hopefully happiness that we can't quite imagine yet. So I'm very excited about the future, and very glad.
And all the money that you guys are going to give me for all my bullshit.
Here, thank you for having me.
It's our absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
And His Royal Highness was talking to you about his vision and his dream to
Yeah.
increase productivity for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and power up the region and the whole
Yeah.
world.
And we don't have nearly enough people, and we're sick of importing Indians and Africans to do all the work because every time we dump a busload of them in the ocean, you guys get mad and it gets all awkward.
Robotics, but also on robo-taxis. So how are we doing on robo-taxis?
Oh, they're great. Robo-taxis are awesome. I mean, the Tesla one sucks, but there's a couple of other ones on the market that are already functioning. Again, there's not a huge market for them, and there's a lot of competition, so nobody's going to make a bunch of money on it. So,
Yeah, so really you can think of a car or future cars as being robots on four wheels.
no. Then it's not a car. It's a bus that can think.
And, I think it would be very exciting to have autonomous vehicles here in the kingdom.
Indeed.
If you're amenable.
Yeah, because they're so used to having chauffeurs, they just want to get rid of the riffraff.
You heard it here from Elon. He's bringing his robo-taxi to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, any day now.
He has another announcement that he's going to
Yes,
share later.
exactly. So, and I'd also like to thank the kingdom for approving Starlink for maritime and aviation use. Thank you.
Maritime and aviation. There you go. There you go.
That's great. It's so great. And who cares that 4 or 5 of those satellites fall out of the sky and pollute the ozone layer every single day?
Oh.
Also, if you guys decide to veer outside what he thinks he wants you to do, or you cut any of his contracts, he can just make it not work that well. Just like the robo-taxis. Feel free to get in them, because I'm sure he won't do anything to control them remotely from someplace. Mm-mm.
So, yeah. So
you're going to bring us robots to help us increase our productivity.
Yeah.
He might bring you robots. That does not mean they will increase your productivity.
Robo-taxis to make sure our cars and assets turn into a cash-generating unit.
Yeah.
Why would that turn into a cash-generating unit? And why would you need that? Why do the fucking Saudis need to make money off of their cars?
And
electric cars at that.
Starlink to reform our aviation and maritime.
Yeah.
Talk about XAI.
Absolutely. But I should want to mention also something that may be worth considering is tunnels.
Tunnels. The Boring Company.
I have this company called The Boring Company, which sounds kind of boring, but it literally bores tunnels.
Yeah, really, I'm sure that'll work great in the desert. Yeah, nothing screams tunnel system like sand.
And actually, tunnels, in order to solve traffic.
Oh, and NeuroGeezer, all of his are humanoid. I agree. That's why I was saying when he says there are going to be billions of robots, that was my point, that they're not going to be humanoid. The vast majority of the robots aren't going to be your personal C-3PO or even an R2-D2 that rolls around. Yeah.
You really need to go.
I am streaming live right now. This is not a replay. I'm doing this live. I guess if you were watching this later and you saw it, you'd probably... But I am live. Should I hold up a... What time is it? Hold on. There you go. It's what time it is. And there's Paul Stanley on my phone. Thank you, Leslie. Again, so lovely. Thanks for the Venmo.
3D with roads, and by using tunnels, you can essentially create like a wormhole, like a warp tunnel from.
Oh, fuck you. You can also create a great opportunity for flooding.
One part of a city to another and alleviate traffic. And we've actually already done this proof of concept in Vegas. So there are working tunnels in Las Vegas that you can use where that'll just, it feels like teleporting from one part of Vegas to another. So.
No, it does not.
I always say that, my joke is like tunnels are underappreciated,
Because they're under something and because tunnels are under. Yeah.
Not always a hit, but.
It's never a hit. You're an asshole. That's why your jokes don't land. People can make, like, Norm Macdonald, for example, could make that very same joke and it would be hilarious because he would know it's stupid and therefore you would kind of have seen it, right?
Yeah, and then XAI.
It also only works with your fucking Teslas, so it's not like any other car can go in there, and therefore it's fucking useless.
Is just trying to solve general purpose artificial intelligence. The goal with XAI is to have a maximally truth-seeking AI.
From the point of view of a 1930s politician in East Germany neighborhood, say around Berlin, but
it's important to be a maximally truth-seeking AI in order to understand the universe. So the goal of XAI is understand the universe, to understand
and insult everyone along the way.
And what is out there.
It can't possibly know. It can only take the data it has, and the only way it could seek truth is to create methods of gathering data, which would require observation, which would mean it would have to capture human beings, hook them up to a fucking battery so they don't die, and launch them into deep space with probes in their brain. That's the only, honestly, that's what Grok's got to do now. It's a maximally truth-seeking thing, so it needs to find out, well, where the fuck is it going to get this? And it's going to interpret that through the human brainstem, because you're going to assume that truth comes with it, from an element of humanity, because that's what it's been trained on. So you're just going to freeze people, stuff them in a tube, kind of, like in the Matrix, just buck naked with a bunch of fucking wires stuck in you, and just poof, float you out into space and just read your brain waves as you see shit firsthand. You can't experience it though, because your nervous system would become overwhelmed and you die. So you're just kind of in a frozen catatonic dream state while it uses your body as a fucking parasite. Great.
Where's the universe going? Where did it come from? What questions? In fact, I think maybe the biggest thing is, what questions do we not know to ask?
Yes, the life, the universe, and everything. Like, dude, if you haven't read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, please do, so you can stop thinking this guy's having any original thoughts.
Like, once you know the question, the answer is usually the easy part. So the goal of XAI.
Yes, 42, the name of my Masonic Lodge, the number of my Masonic Lodge in LA. How have you covered the thing with Grok appending South African genocide stuff to every answer? No, I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Help understand the universe, and yeah, that's the goal.
Great, cool. You made an asshole philosopher, because we don't have any of those. Nietzsche will be so upset that he can't be alive.
And help people answer any questions along the way, of course. But
yes, like how to deal with the Jewish question.
I mean, that's my philosophy. My philosophy is one of curiosity, just trying to understand the nature of.
Nonsense. He's not curious. He already thinks he has the answers, and he's trying to shoehorn those answers into the world based on his pop culture references and his and cocktail conversation level understandings of engineering.
So I know you had a long day, but we also have the Honorable President and His Royal Highness Musaidi hitting the stage soon. Yes. So this is a historic day, a partnership about how we could join hands together as we have. And
in a mutually beneficial defense pact where a lot of arms will flow to the Middle East. God knows that hasn't happened before. Thanks, Edward.
Joined hands in the past 92 years on building a factor-based economy to help the world and power up 20% of the energy mix, which is very critical today to the AI intelligence age, the digital age, and how we have reformed, and with the intelligent age. And we could not be more appreciative of having a lifetime partner and a friend like you, Elon, to the kingdom.
Thank you.
Joining hands.
That was it. I guess they just bailed out on it at the end. Well, we got through it, kids. Thanks so much for staying up late with me. I got to go to bed because I have to get up in 6 hours to take the kitties to the vet to get broken. So, niche, can you teach me? Yeah, a bunch of blather, and I do think if we can take anything away from this evening is that the gathering in Riyadh was, how can I put this? Yeah, I mean, I wish they'd have just saved it for Pride Month. It would have made so much more sense. It was a slog, but we made it through, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys. And it's kind of a throwback to when we started this whole business, and when I would do long form covering Trump's speeches and rallies and that stuff before the show broke up into clips and that kind of stuff. And I think it's necessary because, again, it is very demystifying to watch this asshole actually talk. Because you can hear from everybody. He said this, he said this one thing, this was a little bit crazy, but that he made a big point about. That the news will create this idea that he said something newsworthy, and then like late night will pick and choose little snippets of stuff that are ridiculous. But in the context of all of it, the assumption is if you saw the ridiculous stuff, the rest of it must have been fine. And if you see the newsworthy parts, it's like it may seem like, oh dear God, they're normalizing him when everything else about it was nuts, right? And it's important to watch the entire context to know that you're not insane, that basically everything he said was indeed nuts. So let's see. I think we got to chill into the evening. Yeah. You guys are awesome. Thanks for staying up late with me, letting me check my system. I got a show in the morning at 9 a.m. my time. You'll probably sleep through it. It's okay. With my dear friend Rob, and I think Nat is going to be on with us as well. I'm fairly certain. I think this is happening. But at the very least, I will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully my system will work just fine now that I've tinkered. Yeah, I think that's what happened. That's the Venmo, by the way, if you feel like buying me a cup of coffee. If you thought tonight was worth it. If you think I've earned $1, $1. If I put a smile on your face at any point. If I enlightened you. If I gave you a little bit of perspective or just made you feel less stressed about this. Super chats and all that, that's a way to support the show. Maybe $6.66 or any derivation therein. But if you can't, I'm glad you were here. The biggest gift you can give somebody is your attention and your eyeballs, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Trevo, and Govan, Deanne, and Kim, thank you, and Seahawk, Brian, Edward,